One day, the wise man was walking through an alley. He saw several orphan children crying and suffering from hunger. The wise man slowly walked toward them, then gently said, "My children, don't cry. I will give you money so you can buy food." But when he searched his pockets, he found no money. The children, who had calmed down because of his words, began to cry again. The wise man thought for a moment and said, "Don't worry, I will bring you money very soon." Then he went to the town square and shouted loudly, "Oh, people, I am selling advice. Whoever wants advice, come quickly before it runs out." At that moment, the ruler of the city was passing through the square and heard the wise man. He came forward and said, "Oh, wise man, how much do you sell your advice for?" The wise man said, $100. At the same moment, a stranger asked, "How much is your advice?" The wise man said, $1. When the ruler heard this, he became upset and said, "You take $1 from others, but 100 from me. At least take $10 from me." The wise man said, "It cannot be less than $100. The ruler, eager to hear the advice, paid $100 and said, "Here is $100. Now tell me your advice." The wise man said, "Whatever you do, think about its consequences." The wise man took the money and sold no more advice. He quickly returned to the orphan children and gave them the coins so they could buy food. He also gave the $100 to a trustworthy person to take care of their food and living expenses. Meanwhile, the ruler returned to his palace and ordered the wise man's sentence to be written on the palace dishes, so he would always remember it. Whatever you do, think about its consequences. Years passed. Then, one day, the ruler's minister grew greedy for the throne and made a dark decision to kill him and take his place. He thought for several days until he saw the palace barber and decided to use him. He gave him a large amount of money and promised him a high position if he killed the ruler. One day, the ruler called the barber to trim his beard. The barber began his work, but he intended to slide the razor under the ruler's throat and kill him. Suddenly, his eyes fell on a dish that had written on it, "Whatever you do, think about its consequences." The barber's hand began to shake. The ruler asked, "Why is your hand shaking?" The barber became frightened and said nothing. The ruler said, "If you do not tell the truth, I will order them to kill you." The barber, whose life was in danger, confessed everything and said the minister had given him money and promised him a position to kill the ruler. Then he said, "When I saw this sentence, I thought that after killing you, they would also kill me, so the secret would not be revealed. What use would money and position be to me then? That is why my hand shook and I changed my mind." The ruler immediately ordered the minister to be arrested and punished. Then he went to the wise man and said, "Give me another piece of advice. I will give you whatever you want." The wise man said, "I do not sell my advice. That day I sold it only because I needed the money. I even regret it." The ruler asked, "Why do you regret it?" The wise man said, "If I had not given you that advice, you would not be alive today, and the people would have been free from you." The ruler ignored him and insisted again. He said, "I will give you whatever you want." The wise man, knowing that the ruler would never give up his throne, said, "Then give me your kingdom." The ruler said, "All my efforts are to keep my kingdom. I cannot give it up." So he left the wise man and returned to his palace. And that was how a simple sentence saved a king's life and uncovered a great betrayal. It was not a sword that saved him, nor wealth, nor power, but a single thought. Sometimes brief thought can change a person's destiny. Sometimes a small pause can prevent a great disaster. Life is full of decisions that may seem simple in the moment, but every decision builds a future. So before every word, before every anger, before every choice, pause for a moment. Think and ask yourself, what will be the consequence of this action? Because many of the world's regrets began with decisions made without thinking.